right here is an example of a finished armature with the beginnings of paper mache over the top. And I'm showing varying degrees of paper mache right here on purpose so that you guys have an idea of how the process is. So like you can see the head here, you can see some of the wire in there. So we're creating the wire part that goes underneath this today, okay? And so the word that you guys need to know and love and remember, and for all this, I'll write it again in the chat, is armature, okay? Everyone say armature. 1, 2, 3. Armature. Okay. So we're starting with our wire hangers. You're going to take one of these wire hangers, and what we're going to do is build this right here. So you can see where the white is in this. This is our armature for our sculpture. And the white represents the strongest part of it. That's the foundational part. And then the more bendy wire will be the other parts. So you can start by grabbing this here, and we're going to untwist it. Literally just start bending it around like this. All right, undo the top. Remember safety first also. If you want to put goggles on, you can, but because once in a while these things do fly around. I just got hit in the side of the face by mine. But certainly don't do this around anyone else. Don't be too close to anyone, because a lot of these wire things can go around and poke someone in the eye or in the face. But what we want to do is get this, just keep working on it, class, until it's completely straightened out, okay? So I'm just going to keep working on mine here. You work on yours at home. So finish one, and then as soon as you're finished doing the one, you're going to get the second hanger and repeat the process. Do it one more time. Everything over again. And there we go. So now I have 2 hanger wires that are completely straightened out. And then you're going to move on and straighten one of these guys out, okay? And then you're going to repeat this one more time. I think you'll only need your two white hanger wires and 2 of these bendy wires today. And then the third bendy wire is you can hold on to that, and it'll be your spare for other things that you might want to do. What we're aiming for now is this right here. So we will start by creating this first part with the strong wire, the head, the shoulders. Basically, we're going to do the torso down into the hips and beginning of the legs. That's what we're going to do with that first wire. And then the second wire is going to go up into the center, wrap down, and create the legs and feet. So you want to match these 2 ends up like that. And then watch this, how I do this. I'm going to grab it, squeeze, 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 like that, until you have kind of a loop. Because you don't probably want it to be too pointed at the top, a little bit rounded, but you want it to be in half. Then we're going to try to loop this. Now this is going to end up being the head of your armature, like you can see here. And the idea is you want to have a loop so that you can go in and paper mache eventually the head that will go into that. Look at the sketch, think about what you're trying to make, and make the right size loop for the head for what you're actually trying to do. It should, in most cases, it's not going to be that big. Okay? On the other hand, if your drawings require something that's larger, go ahead, go for it. It just depends on what your design is requiring. So we're going to loop that around. Loop it around, loop it around. And I want it a little more rounded on mine. Like that. And that's what we're aiming for, something similar to this. Doesn't have to be exactly like mine or anything. But again, I think what you really just have to be careful of is not making it too ridiculously large, like I see sometimes. But what you want to do is hold this really tight, and then you're going to take these pieces and you're going to bend them around 180 degrees. If you have pliers, that's a little easier, and that'll pretend that someone else is there helping you, and grab it like that with the pliers. Watch how I do this. I'm going to grab this here and twist these around like that. And I'm going to do that 2 times. So total wrap around, okay, like that. So I got 2 wraps, and that's what you're left with, just like that. One of the biggest errors students make here, again, is they'll grab this and then they'll make a shoulder way out here somewhere, when actually our shoulders aren't that far from our head. And I'm a pretty broad guy, you know, I'm not super slim or anything. So show you the example here again. See that? That's what we're aiming for. So we want to go out about this far, and then we're going to make a sharp bend. We're going to do that with both sides. So again, I'll show you that. I'm going to grab right here, bend it right there, and there's my shoulder. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Whatever you do on one side, try to do it on the other side equally. That'll really help your project out a lot. Is try to be as symmetrical and balanced as possible. Okay, so you see that? We want these things to intersect down below, straight below the head, like that. Then you're gonna grab this. Again, I'll show you without pliers. For those of you who don't have pliers, just grab it here really tight, and then twist this around like that. And do it 2 times, like that. All right. So next thing is you want to go out and we're going to bend for the hips. So refer back to our finished one here. Go out about that far and bend. Do the same thing on the other side. So that's, again, balanced and symmetrical. All right. So that it's in half, like this. We're gonna hang it like that on it. See that? So you're literally just taking this whole thing like this, and you're gonna put it like that, so it hangs on that really thin spot in the middle. Okay, so you have it like this, it's hanging. So watch what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna bring it down here. Now, see this? Like that. You see it just comes down and hooks onto there like that. Then I'm going to grab right here and pull it up and around the hip, okay? Like that. I'll do the same thing on this one. Bring it through and around the hip. So what I'm going to do now, what we want to do is kind of create some space for the thigh, because we have to eventually remember what we're going to do is we're going to be shoving the paper mache into it. So we need a couple of wires. We need space between wires so we actually can go in there and make something out of that. So I'm going to take this part here, and my back way, you guys can see it. So it's like this. I'm going to take this and kind of bend it here so it's like a thigh basically. See that? And then I'm going to bend this around. This is the shorter one here that I've got. I made kind of a rear end out of it. And then this is the side of the thigh, like the side view of your thigh. And then I'm going to wrap this around down here. That's what I got now. Here's the project from a distance. See that? Now I'm going to do the other one as well. So here's the whole thing now. So that's that way to do it. I'll probably post a couple videos too. The other way to do it, this is the demo from yesterday's class, is to, when you wrap it around here initially, instead of just going right around the hip like we just did, is you can also go through the torso and then around the hip. So there's two ways to do it. But I showed you guys the easier way. Okay, next step. So it's coming down here. Now I want to find out, based on the proportions of this, where should the ankle and foot be? Kind of look at it, figure out where you think that needs to be, and then you're going to bend this. Make sure you bend it the same for both legs, so that you have the feet and the length similar. So there's the, that's going to end up. And then I'm going to show you guys a few different examples of feet. But typically what's going to happen is you're going to make kind of a loop or a triangular kind of a thing for the feet. But this starts with the actual armature, so bent down, so this would be about where the ball of your foot is going to be, where your ankle is, and then you're going to make the bottom of the foot by triangulating. You just got to bend this, so about this, whatever the size of that foot is going to be. Kind of see what I got going there. Now, when we're at school, we have all kinds of options. We have a shop there. We have, wood and all this stuff, and we'll cut. A lot of people will make a base. Other projects will be freestanding. So I'm going to show you kind of a little bit example of both. This is a project I did a few years ago. You see, notice this guy is freestanding, and he's freestanding by kneeling down. So he's got kind of an astonished pose going on, like he's looking up and saw something that's, so you can see him from different angles. So I made him freestanding where he goes on a knee, but that's one example of that. Another example is this guy. Keep showing you guys. He's a little tougher to make balance, but he does balance out. So you see now, one of the ways that happens, you see how I use the wire down here. Another thing is, if you actually want to, if say you guys have some wood at your house and you want to do something, you could actually take, your wire here and drive a little piece outward that can stick down into a piece of wood or something as a base. So you can do that. If you do that, now would be the time to do that. Just leave a little bit for you to stick in. So currently this is what mine looks like though. So I've got this little piece sticking out and I got to figure out what I want to do. I could maybe aim it down. That could help stabilize him so he can be freestanding, or maybe even put him on a piece of wood, drill holes and stick that little piece down into that. So you have these different options available to you. It's up to you what you decide you want to do. So this is kind of what I have so far. Just curious. Pose, you know, this does not have to be all figured out right now by any means, but just as an example, you can see, let's see if I can get this guy to freestand right now by using the wire that I've got there. See that? So there. See how I use the wire? And he's freestanding. I'm going to show you guys how to do the arms now. So you're going to need to get one of your bendy wires. We're going to take it and match the ends up again, or it's pretty much, we do a lot of this. We start with matching up the ends of this wire, and then we're going to squeeze it together just like we did the other ones. And that way we get split right in half. What we wanted to do is have the same amount of wire on both ends. So that's split in half now. We're going to take that bendy wire and hang it around its neck like we're going to strangle this thing. And we're going to wrap, use both of these. We're going to take the first one and wrap it around, all the way around, and then do the same thing with the other one. Wrap it all the way around. I want to do it a couple times. That's what we got now. So step one with the bendy wire was straighten it out. Step two, bend it in half. Step three, do a strangle wrap around the neck. You're literally going to go around a couple times and out in both directions. And then next, we're going to wrap right here. This is important. I get people who wrap it around like 50 times. That is not what we're doing. What we are doing is it's going straight from here to here, and then right here in the corner, we're going to wrap this through the torso and pull it out like we're sewing, and then pull it tight as we can, just like that. So it's just coming right out of the corner of the shoulder. Okay, and you're going to do that on both sides. Whatever you do on one side, you do it to the other side. And then you're going to repeat it. Let's go around one more time through the torso and out. Right from the corner. You can see where we're going with this. It's going to wrap around the shoulder, and then we're going to go out and make this arm. Okay, see those arms? And the key is trying to keep things the same on both sides. Here's another one. Here's a demo from yesterday. You can see the arm on there. So we're going to do that now with this. So step one of this, after you get the shoulder wrapped, you're going to figure out, looking at the proportions of your figure, figure out where you think the elbow should be. And then you're going to bend for the elbow. Continue on, and then you want to it's about the same distance from here to here, and then do about the same for where the wrist will be. and then you're going to create the hand beyond that. And we're going to start with the thumb. We'll twist this around right there. That's smaller, and here's where it really helps to have pliers, is that if you're going to do fingers, you got to smash that together like I just did there. You're going to grab this and smash it together so you get it smaller. So in that case, that would be my thumb, and then I'm going to turn this thing around and create the rest of the hand. See right here. So let me show you really quickly the two versions of hands that you guys can do. This is the comparison. One is that you can create a hand that has the thumb out, the thumb extended, and the other fingers close together like this, kind of a thing. And that's what is being showed here. Or you can have all the fingers separated, which is like you see here. This is much more difficult and it takes more time, but some of you might want to do that. That's fine. But so what you're going to have to do is repeat that process that I just did over and over again, so that every single finger, you go out, come back, and then you smash the points of each finger with your pliers. This guy has this version where there's the thumb extended and the fingers close together like that. So that's how that would look in a paper mache form. You get a look at that. But for some things, you know, you might want the whole hand open to get that some other kind of effect. So I'll just demonstrate both versions on this for you. I'm going to do one of the hands, one of the arms with the fingers close together. And then the second hand I'll do with every single finger done. So I'm going to start with this, get the thumb done, and then I'm going to bend around for the rest of the fingers. And after I finish shaping the hand, I'm going to go around for the wrist. I have enough, so I'm going to actually go around a couple of times in this case. And then we want to form what's called the forearm. That's this part of the arm right here. That. And this is really important. Again, I've told you this earlier, but you don't want to be wrapping the wire around a whole bunch of times. That is not what we need. It serves no purpose whatsoever to wrap the wire around 50 times. It does nothing for us. What you do want is to have a nice gap between the two pieces of wire so that you have space to shove the paper mache into. Remember, the wire isn't what we're actually going to see in the end. We're going to see the paper mache on top of it. So the Armature's whole purpose in life is to support the sculpture on top. So what we want is a nice open gap between these two wires that you can use to paper mache. Okay, and then here, we'll wrap around for the elbow, and then we'll create this rest of this part of the arm here. I'm actually going to go for a double wrap like this. And no, I'm not. Just go right here. Don't worry about forming muscles and stuff. That's not going to happen until later. So this is what I've got here. And then I'm going to wrap into the torso, go right into the torso and back out again. A couple of times. And the excess you're going to use to form, because this area here, the torso, you're going to need to fill that with paper mache as well. Refer you back to this. There has to be something there to create like the chest or breast and all that area there for the torso. So right here, I'm going to come out. This is going to be, so here's his feet right here. So this will be for the back here. wrap that around. What you're trying to do is create kind of a little bit of a basket of sorts, something wire structure. So again, you can shove paper mache in here as well. So that's one arm down, one arm finished. And on this one, I'm going to actually do all the fingers separately so you can see how that is. Start with one, here's the thumb. Then I'm going to go in and smash that down. Here's the thumb, and then I'm going to create the index finger. See how I just keep smashing each one down. And I go to the middle finger. Smash that down. And the next one, and I'm just going to keep going in a progression until all the fingers have been created. The next one, and the pinky. So there you see, I've got all the fingers that have been rendered. Go around the wrist. Make my elbow, my forearm. Go there. And back to the torso here. And we got the other one done. There we go. There you have it. All right. All right. Have a nice day, guys. I'll see you guys on Friday, and we'll continue all of this fun. Yay!